You know, a peculiar thing happened to me last time I was trying to live in Florida. Very abrasive British man, uh, who I quite liked actually. Fun partier. Um, came up to a military-built guy's his girlfriend or girl he was talking to and started sort of toying with him. and eventually I had to break up a situation into which he was trying to play tough, even though he knew he couldn't get into a fight because that would cost him his freedom. And the British person understood he knew this guy wasn't going to make a move, even though he was rationalizing how if he could, it would clearly not come out in his favor. Even though both were relatively well-sized people, the brute, which was actually the more civilized one, was quite muscular and seemed feasibly big in a very athletic manner. Without really knowing the British fellow much at the time, just sort of talking silly bullshit with him because he was a silly drunkard like me when it came to sort of a loner situation. I don't know. I stepped in real quick. I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I am trying to teach this guy how our humor works here. He completely misunderstood me. This is my fault. I am so sorry." And then I looked at him like Mo looks at one of his Three Stooges, like, "Hey, wise guy, what do you think you're doing here? Get out of here, man!" Some sort of rhetoric in that manner. And ended him being sort of humiliated by the fact that the guy, if he could and would, could beat him up. And ending a awkwardly pathetic situation into which two men were trying to create a context into which they were being civilized, I guess. Later on, I detected a lot of people acting peculiar and having sort of some kind of knowledge of me. Uh, Canadian talking about his president allowing Mexicans into his country, giving them passports and sending them down here. And how wrong that was in his opinion. I'm like, whatever, I don't give a fuck, guys. Stop fucking talking about this shit. I'm trying to enjoy this hostel. I'm trying to get laid. I'm trying to have fun. If you don't let me, I will go get on my scooter and do circles around Miami instead of talk about this retarded bullshit. Anyways, later on, I gave him the British fellow because he only had a UN ID and seemed like he sort of wanted to stick around. I gave him my Delaware driver's license, even though it didn't particularly look like me, but you never know what people can pass off in circumstance they need to just stick around and want to be in America. He clearly liked America quite a bit and wanted to, you know, be around silly, stupid Americans like himself and me. Instead of a bunch of proper British. Anyways, he eventually gave that ID to the front desk. Uh, if he was my friend, he would have just given it back instead of making me look like suspect. It was the one that had the zip code of Joe Biden's new home of retirement. Um, Anyways, not important. As he was leaving, and I was about to descend on my cruise to the Bahamas for a day and check out of Florida, he was about to go to some island for about a week or so. He looked at me and he was like, "My best friend." Da, 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 da. Before this, I don't know why I sort of detracted him. I made some sort of racial statements about blackface comedy and stuff like that. Sort of get him to go away a little bit, not like me like that. Because it was suspect he wasn't being more upfront about whatever his intentions were. But he was a funny, goofy, happy-go-lucky guy. I didn't mind. My favorite friend I made there was the Swedish hash smokers, who would always smoke me up with some weed. They were the sweetest, loveliest group of guys. It was funny. His friend looked Muslim. He looked like a mixed thing or something. His Muslim friend always had this stern look around me, while he was this jovial, happy-go-lucky Hollander telling me brilliant stories of Amsterdam, making me so envious of what his home life must be like. Um, Anyways, but he looked down at me. It was like he was trying to usher me as his best friend that he was distractingly talking about, who I stepped in and stuck up for, and even gave him an ID to kind of get away with. It could have gotten him in a spot of trouble, but he sounded like he wanted a way out of having a UN ID so he could, integrate as one of us. You know, whatever. It's our land is your land is my land. I'm a hippie like that. As long as you're not like, part of a criminal syndicate of some type. Anyways, but yeah, he looked so sad that I didn't just step into this place of his best friend or something. It seemed like I just looked up at him like, well, are you addressing me? No? Well, then I'm me, you're you, and I have no invitation directly, thus and therefore by you, in my sort of ignorance of the situation, which I felt bad about somewhat. But it's annoying being placed into these circumstances. But, it's weird how these systems work, especially amongst my generation, because we don't take things like that. We're not Mr. Secret Agent Man. Even though we probably should have figured out how to tell all the old people, guys, this is a load of shit. I don't know why or how this is being rectified as a possible crisis. But trust me, all we talk about is getting our 400 megahertz processors. We are not worried about our computers crashing at 12 o'clock at the change of the millennia. Trust me. Don't worry. And please stop buying toilet paper. It makes us all look really freaking stupid.